Good morning, Wisconsin. This is Justin Publon, meteorologist with WisconsinWX.com. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. Here's the 7-day forecast for central Wisconsin. We're seeing high temperatures in the 60s this week. To start from Monday through Wednesday, we have high pressure and control. You're going to see a lot more sun than we've seen recently. By the time we get to Thursday through the Saturday timeframe and maybe into Sunday, we're dealing with a storm, a low pressure system that's going to have a big impact on our weather. And you can even see some snowflakes there on the weekend. So we're going to have to take a closer look at that a bit early, but I have some thoughts and we'll go through it. Here's the temperature graph. Just wanted to show how, we're pretty close to average, maybe a little bit above that. In the 60s is about what I would expect this time of year, Monday through Friday. But then as we get into the weekend, things definitely change. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I mean, that's a 20-degree drop from one day to the next. And then, 44 degrees, that's one heck of a temperature there for a high on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll have to see how that wears out. I mean, it may moderate, and we'll see. We'll see. The temperature outlook issued by the CPC for the next 6 to 10 days. This is temperature and precipitation there for the 8 to 14 day time frame. Actually, I wanted to start with the 6 to 10. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here's for the 6 to 10 day time frame. You're seeing that below average, 70%. It's a pretty high probability there across the Dakotas into Minnesota and even the western parts of Wisconsin. You're going to see that with the storm coming in, the change that's kind of associated with it. And then above average precipitation associated with the low pressure system for this week. And that's where you're seeing the greens that are reaching up into the Great Lakes region. That's that. The 8 to 14 day, maybe some drying out a little bit, and just kind of like a not lukewarm. I don't know why I say that, but it's sort of like an in between. It's not anything special one way or another for Wisconsin. Maybe a little bit drier, which would be a good thing. And then the 1 month, just going back to that again, is still showing that above average precipitation this is for October, the month overall. Above average precipitation, Great Lakes, and then equal chances in Wisconsin, I would say, for above or below average temperatures. We're going to go talk about this storm that's coming in. I wanted to start with this first because I want to give you an idea where the jet stream is. I'm going to circle Wisconsin for you, and then I'm going to put this through time here. And you're seeing this jet stream, so it's again developing a trough in the west, and that trough is going to sweep through the country, and it's gonna. That's pretty much taking a bullseye on maybe the northwest side of Wisconsin. The track, at least. Typically the precipitation is northwest of that track, so you're seeing that low pressure, and it kind of bottoms out there across the western Lake Superior region, and then it occludes. So it's actually in this process of swinging from a positive tilt to a negative tilt, and then it's occluding. So this is going to be a long storm system. It's going to be around for a while, and this is next Sunday, and you see that lobe moving off now. And then this storm could be a pattern changer a little bit, but this GFS run seems to just go right back into whatever the heck else it wants to do. So and then it just goes right back to that western trough again. So I don't know. This type of storm again, when you have it go from positive to negative and then it just sits there, it seems to indicate that you want to do some more troughiness across the eastern side of the country. All the models want to go that route. A lot of the weeklies and the monthlies, they all want to do the same thing, but I haven't seen it happen yet. This is the closest thing to it. All right, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, it could revert back into this pattern, because that's all we've seen so far. Okay. Let's see, I had that. I wanted to show you this because this is going to give you a good overview of this week. Now I'm going to start from forecast hour 6 hour. So this is for right now, pretty much. You see that weak high pressure scoots off south of Wisconsin, and I'm going to have to remove this for you. And here's Wisconsin again. This is by Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. You're seeing that it's still pretty much clear. You're probably pretty good with the clouds there. No clouds. It's pretty clear probably. But by the time we're getting into Thursday, I believe the clouds are going to start to come back a little bit. And then you're going to have the rain approaching from the west. Now, this is that big low pressure system I was talking about, going from a positive to a negative. It just kind of demonstrates the dynamic of it. Pretty dynamic system. And that low pressure moves through on this model. This is GGFS. I'll show you the European here in a second, but it shows it kind of flying up into the northwest Wisconsin and stalling there, occluding and spinning. And now you see those blues working in. That's the snow. And then it really just occludes and closes off. It's called a closed low. So this is more of an open wave, and then it closes off. And then it just sits there through the weekend. So you're probably going to have clouds there into early next week if this model is correct across Wisconsin, along with the chance for precipitation. Now, the heaviest precipitation would be on the front side. So I'm going back. This is Thursday afternoon, and then Thursday night into Friday morning. I would say that's going to be a scattered rain threat there. And then we'd have to watch Friday for the potential of severe weather across southern Wisconsin. Still, I mean, that hasn't changed. This is my outlook on Friday. I think I mentioned that. I mean, it could be a severe weather thing going on. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough energy there to do a widespread event, but I think that there could be some localized things going on. I mean, typically with this much dynamics, there's not a whole lot of instability, but with this amount of wind pattern craziness, you're going to probably have a threat for organized updrafts should one go up. But anyways, then that clears out, and then you have the snow. But the wraparound, so where that 500 millibar low center typically goes, is where you tend to get. Just making sure I got this. Like up in here somewhere. If it sits in that general region, you're going to probably have some snow accumulation there, where that sits. But because this is all wraparound, gosh, I hate that color. Let me see if I can change this quick. Color, we're going to go to red or fuchsia. There we go. Okay, so this wraparound, typically it dries out in this region. I mean, as you can see when we go back and take a look, that occlusion pulls in a segment of dry air into the backside, and then you have the precipitation there, but it's just not going to be too much. I mean, yes, you will probably have a snow accumulation if this model is right in this region, but it can't be the foot plus probably, because the foot plus is going to be out in here somewhere, maybe like here, because as this comes through, you can see that how the storm just wraps up that way. So, and then it just moves off. So that's that model. We can take a look at the European here. This is kind of crude. I apologize, but they really limit the amount of data that gets through. And I have for free sources, so I have to be very resourceful. But anyways, this is we're gonna put this on Thursday night, showing that scattered rain moving in. And then again, if you're not familiar, the European model and then the GFS I just showed you before, those are the main top two models that we use in the medium to long range. And typically, when you use one or the other, or you try to blend them together, you try to compare and contrast. And if one is an outlier versus the other one, or they're not in agreement, then you typically would have a lower predictability, and I wouldn't be able to go through the details. But because these seem to be pretty close in track and overall evolution, you can say that there's probably going to be a storm this weekend. There's going to be a storm this weekend in the region. We just maybe the where the heaviest snow lines up or where the severe weather is just a little bit different when we get closer. But either way, this is going to get you through the week. You're going to see that here by Friday morning, maybe a little bit better chance of rain, and then maybe some thunder embedded in there. The pinks are thunder, what the European would assume to be thunder. And then Friday, it has storms popping up in those darker shades of pink, the purple, that you see popping across southern Wisconsin. Typically would correspond to maybe a strong or severe thunderstorm at 7 p.m. on Friday. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. It's just not a very widespread thing yet. So we'll have to see how that comes in, because when the short range models come in, they'll help us kind of narrow that down. You're seeing that, yeah, but once you get to Friday night, that dry slot clears way through the western side of the state, and all the snow is off to the west. So it's really, really a big occlusion. And then you get the snow working back in. Saturday across northwest Wisconsin, and maybe a little bit more further south than that. Let's just see if we can get it out there. The European is further north for sure. So if you blended the two together, you probably won't have that much snow across Wisconsin. But again, I want to keep an eye on that 500 millibar position of including low center, because I've noticed that that's typically where you get the heaviest snows, and sometimes weird things happen. So it's going to be close. And then it looks like it's got this as rain, but maybe that's just the temperatures are warming up and it's falling as snow, but it's melting or something. So that's where the details that need to get worked out end up. We're talking about the long range now, so we're in week 2. I call it week 2 of October. This is the MJO. We talked about it in the last episode. You're seeing that we have been in the 8-1, and it was heading back into 8, which is kind of all the same thing in terms of our sensible weather. The GFS is actually forecasting it to head back towards the center in this unit circle. And when you get within this, the reading of the tropics becomes harder because it's just no real clear sign one way or the other. You got 8 phases, and it could be one of any of them or neither. So basically, my point is that when it enters this unit circle, who knows what the tropic forcing is going to be and what that pattern is going to be. But it could pop out in the 5 and 4. It could pop out anywhere. So, but for now, we're still in the 8-1. So you're still seeing that pattern here when we go to the CPC. You're still seeing that in the 6 to 10 day time frame, but with that change obviously in the temperature. Now let's see here. I could go into the temperature stuff. I had this pulled out. This is the snow accumulation map for through next Monday. According to, this is the Canadian model and this is the GFS. I'm not going to get too close. I'm just going to show this from a distance, but you're missing the European here. But the Canadian has the snow further west. I mean, it's across North Dakota into central parts of Canada. GFS is further east, and it's typically the most furthest south on average is its tendency. So that makes sense to me. But the European typically likes to be a little bit further north. The Canadian in this case is further north. So anytime you're seeing the snow, I mean, yes, you're still getting the snow in every situation here, but it's where is the location of the heaviest 2 to 3 feet of snow? Where's that going to go? Not Wisconsin, I don't think. I think it's too early for that. We go to rainfall amounts. So we were talking before about how we take this back. You're seeing that, this is the European again, you're seeing that rain moves across from Thursday night into Friday. How much rain do we get? Canadian is in that 1 to 1.5 inch range, and then the GFS is up to 1 to 2 inches in spots. But this, I wouldn't trust this quite yet. I think this could change, just because the scattered nature of it makes it kind of hit and miss. So I wouldn't count on this too much. Just to know that that's generally what we're thinking in terms of maximum rainfall amounts at this point. Now, sometimes when the short range models come in and the convective models hit this, lately they've been coming in higher. So that's something to watch. But that's basically what I got. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this stuff. I think this could be an interesting weather topic for the rest of the week. But I got work to do here in the Monday through Wednesday timeframe. We're building a forum on the website, so I'm going to be putting my head down and really digging into that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You know where to find me. Please consider subscribing and joining our membership on WisconsinDebugs.com. I'd really appreciate it. We're gonna really be ratcheting this thing up here as we head into winter, and we're gonna be doing a lot more. So thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you soon.